tearing out pieces of me to replace the broken pieces of you. Tearing out.
Hello, wealthy family, and welcome to today's Mindset Monday. Thank you for coming and sharing some time with me. I love and appreciate you all. So today we are going to talk about PTSD, okay, post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, there's so many people who are living with this disorder in their life and they don't even realize it. And that's because there's not enough light shown on this, but they constantly feed it to you because they know that a lot of people, regardless of where you are in the world, you are dealing with this disorder in your life. And when you are out of order, you're out of ease. That puts you in dis-ease. So this information I'm going to share with you based on my own experience, because I dealt with a mild case of PTSD. There's different levels to this now, okay? But for those of us who recognize it in our life, who accept the responsibility to start to affect change in our inner world so that we can change our outer world, this information should help you on a deeper molecular, cellular, spiritual level, okay? So, first of all, post-traumatic stress disorder is exactly what the name says it is. You are out of order after experiencing a stressful, traumatic experience in your life. And it was so traumatic, it carved out its own space inside of your being, and it has little triggers that sets it off. And it can cause you to be out of order, out of ease with your normal day-to-day activities. It interrupts your coping mechanisms. It interrupts your thinking mechanisms, your imagination, your intuition, your creativity. It interrupts all of that. That's the disorder that it puts in your life. So it's not just associated with people who are in the military or who have experienced war, because most of the time that's what they try to equate that disorder to. But it's deeper than that. It's also if you've experienced a near-death experience. It also happens if you've been through severe stress. It also happens if you're sleep deprived, working 2-3 jobs. It also happens if you've gone through a deeply impactful, traumatic experience at any time in your life. At any time in your life, you start to absorb and develop and interact with your outside world from when you're in your mother's womb. Your soul, your spirit is observing everything. Your energetic pattern is taking on the energies from when you're in the womb. And for the rest of your life, you're always registering information that affects you on such a deep level. I looked at the clinical definition of post-traumatic stress disorder, and it says an anxiety, this is from cancer.gov, okay? That's a clinical definition, and it took me to cancer.gov. I don't use Google, okay? So the government, the cancer division, is putting out the clinical definition of post-traumatic stress disorder. It says an anxiety disorder that develops in reaction to physical injury or severe mental or emotional distress, such as military combat, violent assaults, natural disaster, or other life-threatening events. Having cancer may also lead to PTSD. Now, sorry about that. Cancer is a deficit of vitamins in your body. There's usually a vitamin deficit of vitamin B in whatever region and area of your body. Also, it stores a lot of stress. It lowers your immune system. It does a lot, okay? But focus. Cancer is a deficit, which can be caused when you're out of order, okay? So, looking at the clinical definition, many people fit that criteria. Many people are living with this and acting out with being drunk or overeating or sexual exploitations or lying or like habitual lying, habitual self-sabotaging behavior also can be a symptom of PTSD. Now, when you look at the group of people who have the most influence, the most recognizable energetic pattern, which are the group of people who are considered to be African American or Black. If you put yourself in this category, if you allow that definition to suit you, which there's nothing wrong with that, I just want to be clear, because there's seems to be a disorder surrounding that nation. So if you attribute yourself to being part of the African American nation, because we are a nation, when you look at the stress that we as a group, as a collection, as an agreeing upon party has gone through, we're suffering PTSD at a deeper level. Not only are we experiencing post-traumatic stress disorder, but we're also experiencing post-traumatic slave disorder. And I first heard that term from my husband years ago. And I've always been, thinking about that because I was raised from a different perspective. So I had to go deeper into understanding what all encompassed that. And because of this disorder, many of us that are part of this nation are allowing our energy to be zapped. And it's causing us to have heart attacks or schizophrenia or other mental disorders or disorders of the heart. So how you heal that? First, you have to recognize you're willingly being a food source for this disorder. You're literally allowing yourself to be paralyzed by this thing. And once I realized that, because I don't share anything that I don't go through. Like I said, I had a case of PTSD earlier in my life. Realizing that allows you to say, okay, let me start to do the internal work. So how you can help deal with PTSD. One, there's a chemical imbalance. So you have to find a way to stabilize that chemical imbalance. Natural remedies include CBD, they include THD. It also includes microdosing with medical grade mushrooms. Now that doesn't mean sorry, because it's medical grade, you're going to the doctor or something of that nature, right? You're not going to go to the CDC and look up medical grade mushrooms, right? You want to make sure it's from a natural source, an authentic source, Mother Earth, okay? But the grade of it, that can also help stabilize your chemicals that are causing you to have these mini triggers. And these triggers can be anything. It could be a sound, it could be a word, it could be a series of events, it could be a person, it could be a smell, it could be anything. It causes you to be put back into that space of trauma. Some people violently lash out because their place of trauma, their trigger, causes them to react violently. There's so many different variations. It's a disorder. And it's based on what your order is. What is the chaos that will cause you to snap and go out of order? So looking to heal yourself, you want to bring back that chemical balance. You also want to talk to someone. Talk to someone who understands this disorder, that can help you bring yourself back together, that will help assist you in your journey and bringing and reining back those triggers. Don't talk to your neighbor. I mean, unless they have a discerning ear, but you want to talk to someone who understands this. Now, clinical psychiatrists and sociologists, psychotherapists as well, hypnotists as well, they do well with this type of disorder if you're looking for a clinical, right? But this is something you have to bring in, you have to rein in and allow yourself to say, okay, something is causing me to have severe anxiety. Now, this is just dependent on how deep the PTSD is running in you. But like I said, if you're aware of it and you're looking for ways on how to assist yourself, if you've even clicked on this video, you can do it. You can do it. It may be a long road, a continuous road, but you can do it. It can be done. And for those of us experiencing post-traumatic slave disorder, realize that there is no master but yourself. The only master is you. You control your life. And giving your energy away to an outside entity, to attributing everything that happens to, corrupt individuals who fit a certain bill. I'm not saying that they aren't doing these things, but by giving them the attention and the energy and the obedience of, or the domination of, reasoning behind why certain things are happening in your life, we have to adjust past that, because their reign is over. Okay, the white man, white supremacy, that reign is done. That's part of the post-traumatic slave disorder. They're out of there. We have to realize that the attack is happening on a different, deeper level, and that's why we have to focus our mind. And dealing with PTSD puts you out of your mind. Okay, so that is all I wanted to share with you. Oh, and also with on a spiritual level, most of the time your PTSD can be healed by working with your crown chakra and your first eye chakra. You want to bring your first eye into a balance. It's probably overactive, and your crown chakra is probably underactive because you're not having that deeper connection with divine, with your higher self. Also, your throat chakra could use some balancing, right? Sometimes when you deal with stress and trauma, you hold it in. If you speak it out, if you release it, if you give it a voice, that can really help ease some of those triggers. Okay? So that's what I have for you today, wealthy family. I love and appreciate you all. I hope this video finds you well. And if you are dealing with PTSD, please reach out to someone. Take back control and allow your body to come back in ease. Okay? I love you. And until we connect again, stay alert, stay aware, and live in love. Peace.